All right, so New Mexico thought that they could really pass this shiny new 7-day waiting period law for buying a gun. You go through the background check, you get cleared, but then you still have to sit around for an entire week before you could take your freedom stick home. Well, that's where the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals just stepped in, and they said, nah, that is not how the Constitution works. So for those of you that don't know, this was a 2-to-1 decision. The majority said that there is zero historical tradition of forcing law-abiding people to sit and wait after they've already been approved. Translation, that whole cooling off period thing, it doesn't have any roots in American history or law. It's basically a modern day invention. And under the Bruin decision set forth by the Supreme Court, that in itself is unconstitutional. But of course, there's always one judge. There's one judge that dissented. He argued that waiting periods save lives and that they prevent homicides and suicides and that there are studies that back it up. But here's the problem. If the government can ban or even delay constitutional rights every time a study said that it might reduce crime, we wouldn't have any rights left. The First Amendment, gone, because studies would say that banning certain speech reduces violence. The Fourth Amendment, gone, because fewer people would commit crimes if we just let cops search everyone's house without warrants. That, my friends, is not how rights work. Now, in my opinion, the majority, they got it right, because if you pass a background check, you are legally cleared. You are able to purchase your freedom stick at that point in time. You don't suddenly become more dangerous just because you could walk out with a firearm that same day. All this law really did was delay people who are following the rules. Now, of course, the governor of New Mexico, the great Michelle Grisham, she wasted no time blasting this decision. She said that this ruling is deeply disappointing, plainly wrong, and likely to cause lives. The typical left-wing talking points. She also bragged about how her law had exceptions for concealed carry permit holders, law enforcement, and family transfers. Okay, but here's the thing. Criminals don't follow the exception. Criminals do not wait. Criminals don't give a crap about your 7-day law. The only people that are affected by this are the ones that are trying to do the right thing and protect themselves legally. Now think about the single mother for a moment. She might be out there being stalked. Or what about the business owner who's threatened after hours? Or what about the family who has a violent ex coming back into their lives? Are these people supposed to wait 7 days for permission to defend themselves? That is insane. And thankfully, the court had some common sense and they agreed as well. Now let's be real here, guys, because the gun control lobby, they love these kind of laws because it sounds good on paper. The 7-day cooling off period makes it seem like you're preventing rash decisions. But in reality, all you're doing is making it harder for people to exercise their rights. And when seconds matter, forcing people to wait days can be deadly. Now, this decision doesn't just impact New Mexico. The 10th Circuit Court covers several states: Colorado, Utah, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Wyoming. So if this ruling stands, it could ripple across the entire circuit and influence how other courts handle waiting period laws. And that's exactly why the gun control advocates are panicking in this moment. Now, if this case goes back to the lower court, New Mexico might try to appeal this case again. They might even try to push for a rehearing for the full 10th Circuit. But let's not miss the bigger picture, because ever since the Supreme Court's Bruin decision back in 2022, the standard has been clear. If a gun law doesn't line up with historical tradition of firearms regulation in this country, it doesn't pass the constitutional muster. And waiting periods, they've got zero historical leg to stand on. Yeah, sure, we had the Brady Bill back in the early 90s with a 5-day waiting period before background checks went digital. But even that was replaced with instant background checks in 1998. Waiting periods aren't some long-standing American tradition. They are modern-day gun control experiment. And like most experiments that mess with the constitutional rights, with our constitutional rights, this one just failed in court. So here's the truth. If you want to stop criminals, Enforce the laws that we already have on the books. Don't create new ones that tie the hands of law-abiding people. This ruling is a big win, not just for New Mexico, but for the Second Amendment as a whole. It shows that these arbitrary restrictions are going to keep getting struck down one by one until they're all gone. So I'll leave you with this. Do you really think that waiting periods save lives? Or is this just another way to chip away at your rights? Let me know down in the comments section below. And if you're glad to see that these unconstitutional laws are getting tossed out, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video. Because trust me, this fight is far from over. And I'll be here breaking it down every step of the way. Guys, don't forget, stay armed, stay free, and I'll see you at the next gun show. Take care, y'all.